Alrighty, welcome back to my channel. I'm EG. This is a Wednesday Reads book review, and before we get started on that, I would like to inform you that it is finally sweater weather. Anyways, it's the best time of the year. The weather is cold and it's wonderful. Okie dokie. Today I read a book called Born of Magick by Jessica King, and this is it was high fantasy, basically. Quest involved. Premise is that there are gifted people who are, they have magic, elemental magic, or healing magic, or alchemical magic, or whatever. These gifted people are being persecuted by the non-gifted people, or, well, the king, who's non-gifted, for reasons. And then there is a family of gifted people, 3 brothers, triplets, and then a daughter whose name is Kit. She's 12 at the beginning of the story, and she's our main character. Now, at the beginning of the story, Kit doesn't know what kind of magic she has. She hasn't quite hit puberty yet, so she doesn't really know. And her brothers have earth and water and fire elemental magic. And they're going off to a market to sell wares and do things, and problems happen as they do. Kit then has to go with a scribe who is a friend of the family. It goes with him and a couple of animals to figure out, okay, what's going on, where's her family, what happened to them. She thinks they're all dead. They're not. Her brother, Kai, is alive, water elemental magic. He goes with them, and then they have to go find other gifted people, and Kit has to get control of her magic, which she discovers is something that is, extremely rare. So at this point, Kit is freaked out. She's afraid of her magic. She doesn't know what's going on. She's, all sorts of problems and other things that are spoilery that I can't tell you about, sorry. And then she comes back and, let's just say she has a control on her magic. There are events in play due to her magic, due to other things involved that I can't tell you about, and it's all very dramatic. So this is your fairly standard quest type story, probably young adult quest type story where, you've got your chosen one who doesn't really know what's going on, has to go figure out what's going on and step into the role that is prepared for her and save the world as it is. Given that it's a fairly common trope, I think this story was probably okay. It is one of the more common tropes that you see in young adult fiction these days. This story definitely followed the idea of the chosen ones. I liked the fact in the beginning that Kit was, a little bit, I'm going to say irreverent is probably the most accurate term. She doesn't know what's going on. She's a little bit angry. She's a little bit freaked out. And that's problematic. However, the second half of the story, things fell into place a little too easily. In the final battle, because there always is a final battle, no one of any importance was injured except for one instance, and that was healed like a couple paragraphs later, and it just felt like the stakes weren't that high. The challenges were too easy. It was fairly obvious what was going to happen. Everyone was, I don't know, it just felt like things were too easy. Things fell into place too quickly. Everything was too perfect. So I liked the beginning. I liked the first half. I think that was interesting. And then the second half, the stakes just didn't feel all that high. This story also is a little bit unusual in that the first part of every chapter was a story that was happening at a different point in time than the rest of the chapter, which would be fine, except for the fact that it was formatted completely the same with the rest of the chapter, and it kind of jumped very quickly. Actually, the formatting for this whole book was a little bit weird. There were italics used in places that didn't make sense. There were places that needed it that didn't have it. And I don't know if that was just my reader or what, but it was a very strange formatting. So I think that made it a little bit more confusing. And the stories that were happening at a different point in time were meant to explain things that were fairly significant to the story, but I think they weren't delved into enough to actually explain the things that we needed to explain. So I mean, on the whole, I think this is probably, you know, a fairly standard chosen one young adult fantasy novel. I think it was a pretty good premise. I like the world building. I think that was interesting. Please ignore the humming in the background. There's a router going on downstairs. It was interesting, you know, the premise is interesting, the world building was good. I think the story itself was just a little bit too easy. I wanted the characters to have a bit more at stake. So if you're interested in a good yarn that, you know, is gonna lighten your bad day, then do go check this out. As usual, all of the links are in the description box below. You can find Jessica King there. If you want to get in touch with me at all, please do let me know. You can find me on all of the usual social media places, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I am around. You can contact me by email. You can contact me through my website. You can find my book all over the place now. I'm really excited, and audiobook will be coming up very shortly. So that's all I've got for you today, except for the fact NaNoWriMo has started and I'm a little, you know, yeah, my brain is about to explode. So I will leave you with that note, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you next time. Bye.